Okay, today we're going to learn to use Fathom, which is a statistical software package. We're going to use it to analyze the correlation between data. We're going to start by opening up the software package. The icon is a little round yellow ball with a histogram in the center. I'm going to double click. And I want a nice big window so I can see what I'm doing, so I'm just going to maximize the window. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to enter data into Fathom. To do that, I need a table. So I'm going to drag a table down into my workspace. Right. We're going to look today at height versus weight data. Is there a correlation between a person's height and a person's weight? And I suspect there is, but I don't know how strong it is. I have 10 pieces of data that I've gathered on height versus weight. First thing I want to do is just set up some column headers here. Height in inches. My first column, and over here in this column, weight in pounds. All right, I can make my columns a little bit bigger so I can see my whole header if I want. And I'm going to enter my data. Okay, so for a 24-inch person, little person, the weight is 20 pounds. 60-inch person is 128. There is a 55-inch person who is 116 pounds. And I'm going to pause the video right now because you don't need to see me enter all 10 pieces of data. Okay, I'm back. I've entered all the 10 pieces of data. I can scroll up and see all of them right there. I can size the table that I created by just moving this up and down. I can move it in if I don't want to see that extra column that's over there. There we go. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name this. It's called a collection of data, but I want to give it a specific name. So if I double click on that title, collection, I can then say this is height versus weight data. Call it whatever you want. Click OK. Now I have a nice title to my data. The next thing I'm going to do is I want to graph this data. I want to create a scatter plot. I'm going to grab the graph icon here and I'm going to pull it down over here and let it go. I need to, for my graph, define what the x value is and what the y value is. My x is going to be my height, so I'm going to grab height and I'm going to drag it over and I'm going to drop it right there. I'm going to grab weight, that's going to be my y value. I'm going to drag it over here on the y-axis and I'm going to let it go, and I have a nice scatter plot here that Fathom created for me. I can definitely see that there is a correlation. There's some relationship here between height and weight. I can't tell how strong it is. Definitely as my height increases, my weight increases. But I want to check out exactly what the line of best fit is and what the relationship is. So I'm going to click on this graph. I'm going to come up to graph and I'm going to say, give me a least squares line. Okay. It's going to add a line. Fathom will only do a linear relationship. So it creates a line of best fit that minimizes the residuals. Okay. It gives me the equation for that line down here, and it gives me my correlation coefficient. Okay. So my equation is that weight in pounds is equal to 4.55 height in inches minus 112. My correlation coefficient is 0.84. That's reasonable. There's definitely a fairly strong correlation. It's not as strong as it could be, right? If it were 1, all of these data points would be on this line. But it's still a reasonable correlation. So that's it. That's how I use Fathom. Again, it will only create a line of best fit that's linear. It will not model an exponential or quadratic. The other thing I may want to do is, after I've created these nice visuals, I may want to use them in a write-up. So I'm going to show you how to copy and paste them into, let's say, Word. I'm going to open up a new Word document, and I'm going to toggle back and forth between Fathom and Word. If I come back over into Fathom, oops. I'm going to copy my data table in. I'm going to select my data table. I'm going to copy as a picture. Come back over here into Word, and I am going to paste it. come into Fathom. I'm going to grab my graph. Again, I'm going to edit, copy as a picture, come back to Word, and I can paste that in also. I can size these things like I would any other picture that I paste into Word. I can make them bigger, I can make them smaller, I can pull them over, I might distort it a little bit, and I can use them in whatever write-up. So that is it.